What's up, everyone? This is King's Court with King McClure, where we talk the hottest topics in college basketball and just everything college basketball that goes into it. But let's just jump right into it. Hunter Dickinson, earlier this week, made a statement. And within that statement, he said that people are hating on me. And they would leave their job for a $10,000 raise. So Hunter Dickinson, Michigan star, left and went to Kansas. And what he's saying is that people are mad at him for it. He did what's best for him. And the thing that shocked me the most was that Hunter Dickinson made less than six figures. Let's go over Hunter Dickinson's resume. He's a second-team All-American. He was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. He averaged 18 and 9 this past season, the fourth Wolverine to do that. He had 28 double-figure scoring games, and he was the Big Ten, on the Big Ten all-defensive team, not this past season, but the year before. Hunter Dickinson has proven himself. So my concern, and what shocked me the most, is that a school like Michigan, who has a big brand and has all the football money, could not pay a guy like Hunter Dickinson more than $600,000. But what's crazy is it's on record for Drew Timme, who made $903,000. I want to say Jalen Wilson, who played at Kansas last year, made around $800,000. But a guy like Hunter Dickinson, who leaves Michigan, mind you, is the number one transfer in the transfer portal, couldn't make over six figures, and people are mad at him for leaving. And that blows my mind, because it then takes me to my next question. What determines a player's NIL value? And when I think about this, I think about three things. I think number one is social media. How many followers do you have? That's obvious. I think number two is potential. I mean, if you have the potential and I think you'd be good in my program, sure, I'll pay you this amount of money. Number three is production. Like, what have you done? What have you produced? How have you produced in college basketball since you've been there? And Hunter Dickinson is a guy who has produced and has a decent social media following. So the fact that he could not get six figures, once again, is absolutely mind-blowing. But let's get back to the whole NIL conversation of what really determines a player's NIL value. Because there are some players out here whose perception of themselves is not reality. What they think they're worth is not really what they are worth. And I can't fault that. You know what? If the NCAA is not going to regulate this rule, then I cannot fault a player for basically to themselves knowing their worth and going out there and saying, this is what I feel like I'm worth, and I value that. So I cannot fault a player for doing that. However, what I can fault players for, because I'm all in favor for the NIL and players getting paid, what I can fault players for is the first conversation that you have with the coach should not be, how much can my son or daughter get paid? That should not be the first conversation. The first conversation you should have with the coach should be, how does my son or daughter fit into your system? How will they get better while being here? What can you do as a man to grow my son or daughter? That should be the first conversation. And of course, NIL definitely comes into play, but that should not be the first conversation that you have with coaches. So I can fault players and parents for that. But by all means necessary, go get your bag. I am not hating on that. But you know what? Maybe just a little bit, because was probably about 2 years early for that. And if I would have waited a little bit, I probably could have been a recipient of that, but I didn't. So I'm a little bit jealous, but that's not the point of this, right? You would think that if coaches are going to have these conversations with players and know the NIL is such a big thing, they would hold up their end of the bargain. But that is not what has been happening. So what I've been hearing from different players is that they are promised X amount of dollars. Let's say they're promised $200,000. If they lose, if the season doesn't go the way that they want to go, they are not getting all of their money. And I think what coaches fail to realize is that this basketball world is small. So just like when you go overseas and there's countries that don't pay you on time, they don't give you all your money, and they have a bad rep, that is the same thing that's going to start happening with schools. Like, I've even heard some players trying to sue different schools and sue different programs. Now, I don't know if you can do that because it's technically not in writing. It's just word of mouth. But it's not right for collectives, for coaches and programs to promise a guy, to lure you in by offering you $300,000, $400,000, and all of a sudden you're not able to receive all of that amount. You only receive probably about 25 to 30. That's not fair at all, and that right there needs to be stopped. However, in all, Hunter Dickinson is a great player who has proven himself and should definitely be worth more than $90,000 that he made. He's a high-figure player that should be way over $100,000. He is worth it. He has proven himself. So for those who are mad, for those who are hating on Hunter Dickinson making that move, stop hating. Because my man knows what he's worth, knows his value, and went to go get it and go get after it. He expressed how sad he was to make this decision, but at the end of the day, he made the decision that was best for him.